Hi everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome back. Lovely to see you. Today we thought we'd just have a bit of a chat about some perfumes. We've not mentioned these perfumes, but the perfumer himself is someone that we love and admire deeply. The great
Prin Lomros, who we met.
We did. We had a beer or two and some food.
Yeah, a bit of wine and some beer. And we were just discussing this earlier, and it's interesting when you fall in love with someone's fragrances and you then meet them and talk about their approach to fragrance, and you can absolutely see why. I think we share very similar tastes.
This is the thing. I think perhaps people would comment on certain perfume videos and say, "Oh, you always talk about this perfume or that perfume, or you're always overwhelmingly positive." It's because we love this guy's perfume. He has such a similar taste to us in the way he puts things together.
We're singing from the same hymn sheet, I think.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing he's made that I've smelled so far that I've not really enjoyed. Like we were saying earlier, like a composer that you particularly like, or a film director that you love. You tend to find that you're going to be in tune with their
talking about film. So we've mentioned before that Prin Lomros studied film initially.
Yes.
And he's saying often the way he composes fragrances, he either thinks as a snapshot from a scene, or a scene itself.
Yeah.
And that's where he comes from, rather than thinking, I want to do a tuberose fragrance or I want to do an incense fragrance. He's trying to create that image. And he says sometimes that, and then to actually compose, to put the ingredients together, sometimes it comes really, really, really quickly, a matter of hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a year.
Yeah, which is incredible, isn't it? The fact that you can have those two polar opposites and still come up with something equally astounding and beautiful. Other things that he said, we were talking about his interests and his taste, and he was saying to us he doesn't like conventional fragrances. He likes things which smell different. Yeah. Not like every fragrance you smell on the street, which again I think is like us. He's not a huge fan of top notes. He certainly doesn't like citrus as a. Why waste your time with top notes?
Exactly. Again, although we don't really like citrus, he's obviously got a real interest in big, rich, opulent florals. Yeah. In lots of his fragrances.
Very transportative kind of fragrances that will take you to the other side of the world.
They're all things we love.
Yeah.
So we should
delve in. We've got some gems here, I think.
There's some really, really cool things.
Interesting stuff.
So we've done one video on some of his Strangers. We're doing two videos, in fact, haven't we? The initial Strangers releases. Yes. Then we did the LGBTIQ.
That's right.
Line. Yeah. And these are some of the new. Some of the
prolific line, this one, isn't it?
So let's start. There are two lines within a line. So one is the 24/7. The dog line. There is a line within a line. Let's start with one which I think is one of the most Prin fragrances. Yeah. So this is Aroon Sawat. We should say, as we get stuck into this video, so Prin has given us all of these bottles to try.
Yeah, it's very, very kindly. They were not requested either, we should point that out as well. I mean, these were...
Yeah, you just sent them...
From one perfume lover to another, really, in a sense.
Aroon Sawat.
I love this stuff.
Means, I think it means good morning in Thai. Yeah. And this feels like good morning. This is one of my favorites.
Isn't it so uplifting?
This is so uplifting. I'm just going to let Joe smell that and talk about it a little bit. But Prin sent me all these samples, all these bottles, and then I went on holiday with a group of friends, a few other couples, and so what I decided to do is I left all of these fragrances downstairs and said to anybody, look, throughout the week, if you just want to try these, spray them, tell me what you think, see how you feel. I can smell them on you can smell them on other people. This is one, which is really popular, and lots of people said, "Oh, this smells kind of." People said it smells unusual, which I think they meant it smells not like something you smell on the underground every day. Yeah, it's a really beautiful, opulent feeling, white floral,
but with a huge sort of feeling of ripeness,
juicy,
and three-dimensional.
I mean, there's tuberose and lily, but
and some citrus as well. I mean. Some nicely done citrus.
But it feels very much like it's oily citrus. Yeah. But these florals felt like I was talking about it before, and imagine you've gone into somewhere like a greenhouse and it's incredibly hot, and these florals, it's not even indolic, it's almost like they've gone a tiny bit animalic. They're so, and almost like you can bite into them. They feel so rich and juicy.
If you're going to cook them.
Punchy and... Or we could stew them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can stew tuberose, but
you should try
it feels so juicy and rich. Tuberose.
Let's try that again.
And also behind it, there's this really beautiful, rich sandalwood and this resiny warmth of myrrh.
I think that's the thing with this that I love. I've smelled this before as well. It's not just this first time. There is so much depth behind it. It has all of that wonderful tropical, heady,
uplifting
brightness. Yeah, but then underneath it, there's real depth and
warmth.
body.
Yeah.
And I've come to love that in a few fragrances recently. And Francesca Bianchi's another person with the Sex and the Sea, Neroli and things like that.
Have that brightness with body underneath it.
It's kind of making us love the summer again, I think, a little bit.
I really, it's
perfect.
It's so, I mean, the name is perfect. It's so uplifting.
Yeah.
It's so happy make. And if you can see the bottle, it's really kind of yellowy and bright, and that's what it just feels like sunshine.
Yeah.
It feels so incredibly uplifting, but yet with so much body to it.
Great way to start the day, I would say.
Absolutely.
Even if you're gonna have a shit day, you wear that stuff, you'll be cheery.
Yeah. Next, this was Pryn's favourite.
Yes.
His personal favourite. This is salted green mango. I'm going to have a bit of spray. As I say, I've lived with these for quite a while actually. Joe's had a smell of most of them. This was one of when I sprayed this amongst my friends. This is one of the most popular, and I can see this being one of the most popular sellers. But I've got to say, if it weren't for the name, I don't think I could have picked out mango. To me, this smells like pomelo.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because green mango is something different, but what I normally think of mango in fragrance, I don't think this smells like.
I know it's a salted green mango, but even then I would have expected something slightly sweeter.
Yeah. It's not. It's quite
slightly more velvety. This is quite astringent.
Well, yeah, but it's got that kind of like
way,
it's kind of all, it doesn't smell appley, but you know the way pomelo is kind of on the appley side of melon.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, and that's why I feel like it's kind of appley quality, and also I get
more acidic.
Not just salt. I get a bit of a seaweed vibe with this. It makes me think of pomelo on the seaside.
Totally. Totally get that.
But and the other thing with this as well, I feel that. First spray, even though I'm describing pomelo, I feel I've gone right to the mid of this. I feel like I've skipped at the top.
Yeah.
And it's not these kind of light, fleeting citruses. I've gone straight to quite a thick, rich, round pomelo, which is what you get for most of this.
It's as if you've gone straight into the flesh of the fruit.
This on a hot day will be
the juice.
Amazing. I mean, and this
beautiful.
Is where we said these kind of things appeal to us, because I struggle to find summer fragrances because I'm not a huge fan of citrus, and this on a summer day has got body and integrity and character, but yet it feels fresh and uplifting.
It does both things. I think that's the thing again. It's something that you can wear, and it's not going to just be fleeting and again this sort of heady experience which peters out after 15 minutes.
Awesome.
It's going to give you a bit of a journey, which we've talked about before in fragrances, but it's nice to feel that you've got a development going on underneath.
Yeah, I don't know, I kind of agree with that, but I found this reasonably linear actually when I wore it. I found because I missed out the top notes, and I found what you kind of smell now is what you kind of get pretty much all day. It did change a bit towards the end.
But in that case, fine, because what you smell now is so good. I'd be happy to keep that all day.
I can see this being a very popular one.
I love them both. My slight preference is probably Aroon Sawat in terms of just the instant smile it brings. But I think this is brilliantly done as well. I think
I completely agree. I prefer,
wonderful.
Personally, of these two, I prefer Aroon Sawat, but I think on the whole, a lot of people are going to go for sort of green.
Slightly fresh linen thing going on there as well.
Yeah, awesome.
It's like a crisp white shirt.
We've got lots more.
So something completely different now, really.
Yes. So should we go for this one?
Yes.
So this is now his everyday collection. This is Le Mauvais Garcons. And when I first tried this, I said to Joe, "This is one I know you're going to like. This is."
He knows my.
So Le Mauvais Garcons means the bad boys. And I think it refers to kind of cultural thing in 1970s Paris of boys hanging around smoking on street corners.
Yeah.
Which is really
bad for your health.
Which is bad for your health.
They are bad.
But it's surprising because, to me, this is a real classic fougere.
Absolutely right.
Real classic fougere. And it doesn't smell wacky or weird. it just smells like a really, really good classic fougere. But you've missed out the top. I mean, there's lavender, but
it's integrated
no kind
into
of
the whole
citrus at all. I feel when I spray it that I've been wearing it for an hour.
I have to say, now I'm getting the reminiscence of what it's reminding me of. I'm getting a nicer version of something I love already, but I'm getting a more interesting version of 1725. It's from Histoire de Parfum. I'm getting
I completely agree.
that slightly like lavender almondy thing.
But I will say this lasts much better.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. 1725 I love, but actually it's gone and.
This
has got some
this is
real
one again
legs.
which is quite popular, and I've worn this a few days, and people have noticed this on me. There's a real clary sage. There's quite a lot of clary sage, and the lavender. The lavender in this is quite sweet. It reminds me a bit of the lavender in Ida Antler by January Scent Project.
Yes.
You know, that quite surprisingly sweet.
Yeah. It's not the big bracing, almost icy lavender that you get in Caron Parom or even like a simple lavender like that Caldy Island stuff.
Yeah. No.
It's a treated lavender.
It's not that kind of slightly astringent bitter lavender. This is much sweeter. But then you also get the bitterness of clary sage and moss as well.
I'm really enjoying that slight nuttiness.
Can I smell it on your?
Are you getting slight nuttiness there, or like a?
See, but as it develops, it does becomes much woodier, doesn't it? Much more kind of like dense undergrowth.
A little bit creamier as well than at the start. At the start, I got a very barbershop Rive Gauche herbaceous thing.
Yeah, but it comes much more kind of full-bodied. I would say if you are a lover of fougères,
that's lovely.
But want something a little more complex and higher quality than your maybe bog standard classic fougère, definitely check this one out.
And I need something to point out maybe later in the video. Also, not at a heightened cost. Something that's perhaps more interesting than a lot of the things out there.
Yeah, so these are,
but at a fraction of the cost.
These are £70. You can get. I don't know if you can get them in Bloom, but you will soon be able to get them in Bloom in London. You can.
But they stock all of the current stuff, don't they? Like cigar rum and Scotch Pete.
So I think Bloom are going to have them in July.
Yeah.
But you can also buy them from the Pryn website, and I think they're $70. So it's slightly cheaper. If you buy, because obviously $70 it's cheaper than £70.
But then you throw in package.
But then you're doing this. But anyway, that's a kind of a designer price. They're only 30ml bottles, but they're good quality and they go a long way.
Yeah, really beautiful. I love that.
Let's carry on. Next one.
This is great, isn't it?
This is one of my favourites.
Yeah.
And this I really, really, really like.
I can see this one becoming a bit of a cult classic.
So this is Scotch Pete.
We should point out P-E-A-T.
Not Peter.
Yeah.
Not Scotch.
He's another guy. He's a lovely guy.
This is inspired by his experiences visiting distilleries in Scotland and walking around the countryside. And it's just just really, really beautiful. The other thing was, this was the first one I tried from all of these, and I looked at the name, I looked at the notes list, and thought this could be a bit wacky, indie, edgy.
Yeah.
And if I were to describe this in one word, it would be comforting.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
And again, you've gone straight to the mid. There's with so many fragrances, even with great fragrances, there are lots where you think, don't smell it in the first 2 seconds because you won't enjoy the first 2 seconds, but 10 seconds.
That's immediately appealing.
It's gone to this boozy, round, woody, mossy, comforting, engulfing.
I get already, like I was saying to Dan earlier, I'm getting this wonderful nostalgia. It's beautifully nostalgic. It takes me back to the 80s, hot concrete, polo green.
Yeah, bits of that.
All that stuff.
Tobacco as well.
See, I was expecting, like you, I was expecting a big Lefroy whiskey a la Fumigus by Parfum. Yeah. It's so much more actually.
This is if you've been walking around, if you've been on a long walk in the countryside through some heather, through some beautiful Scottish fields, and then you've ended up in a pub and you're just cuddled up together with a big jumper, like maybe drinking some whiskey and just kind of nursing it together. This is what this feels like. It's so comforting. It just immediately envelops you, and it's just a balance for me of kind of like tobacco-y notes, boozy notes, woody notes, mossy notes.
I mean, really, really beautiful, and there's a nod here. There's a respect of the past, isn't there? You can tell. There's a nod to some of the sort of the forebears. Is that what you call them? Forebears?
Yeah, forebears. Yeah, whatever. It's really, I like
Beautiful.
it a lot. I really, really like it a lot.
And I don't get a sort of a whiskey thing. I get this peaty, earthy comfort. Like, it's comforting, despite the fact that actually the things you're smelling, you could associate with cold, damp.
Yeah.
But it's somehow enveloping. It's beautiful.
I mean,
it's very cleverly done.
This is a real kind of like autumnal comforter.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's absolutely really, really stunning, really beautiful.
And look at the colour.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, exactly what it's supposed to smell like.
If it catches the light there, it almost looks like gold, which is what I think it is.
Green gold.
Really
right,
beautiful.
now for something completely different. This is SM Cafe. So I said to Pryn, does the SM refer to BDSM? And
yes.
he said yes. He said, imagine the Marquis de Sade in a coffee shop reading 50 Shades of Grey.
Awesome.
And spanking someone in a leather suit.
Whilst ordering a blueberry muffin.
Yeah, he didn't mention blueberry muffin.
Perhaps a frappuccino. Now this thing has got a sort of hallmark of this, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
Which is interesting.
This is really different. Yeah. Really, really. What Joe's talking about is this coffee note. This really, really good espresso coffee note.
That's Pryn's coffee, isn't it? If you were gonna sort of identify. A note.
So we've taught in a few fragrances, and I think in our collaboration with Juan, which we did with Limo Burger, you suggested Burning Ben as one of your dark fragrances, and this coffee note is shared with that.
It's there, absolutely.
And it comes straight away.
Slightly sweeter though than maybe Burning Ben.
Yeah, I think it is. I have to say, there's then this leathery vibe, which goes a little bit weird. It's what is weird is when I looked at the notes list of all these fragrances, I thought SM Cafe was going to be the one that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
Whereas I found it a little bit strange. So it is
strange, isn't it?
There's coffee and leather and some aromatic notes. But especially on my skin, that leather went a bit weird. Let me just see. He always writes the notes lists here. So cashmere and amber and tobacco and beeswax coffee, leather, myrrh, cherry. That's what's giving it. That's what's leaning in the sweeter side, I think.
And the beeswax as well is going to start doing that, isn't it? Like a honey cherry coffee.
But for me, I don't know. Just on my skin, that leather, the way that the leather combined with the coffee, it went a little bit weird.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I mean, I on the strip, I love it.
Yeah.
But I sense for a sort of a dark coffee espresso thing, Burning Ben.
I think that's the thing.
Takes the prize.
I think if I had to choose,
it's like a variation
if I saw Burning Ben and this are both in a kind of similar kind of category, and if I had to choose between the two, I would just go for Burning Ben every day of the week.
Although again, full of personality.
I mean,
full of personality.
Yeah, loads and loads of personality. Right, the last one.
Now this is very different.
Now
this
is definitely, this is my favourite of all of them, and this is Sangre Dulce, and I will also say this is the one when I looked at the notes list, I thought I was going to enjoy the least. So I'll give Joe a spray.
Yeah, I've not smelled this for a while actually.
This is also, I should say, I took this away with me when I went on holiday with friends. This is the one where my wife has said she is having this because she absolutely adores it. So Sangre Dulce means sweet blood, and is inspired. Oh, that smells amazing.
That's really good.
So it's inspired by Sangria, and it's inspired by a film called Gaspar Noé, called Climax, Pryn told me, and I actually watched this the other day, and it is a film in which a group of dancers, they're on this kind of retreat where they're practicing this routine, and then they have an after-show party and they all drink sangria, and it turns out the sangria is spiked with LSD, and they all go crazy and shag each other and kill each other. So that's what this is.
And that was just on Monday.
Yeah, midweek. The reason I was unsure how much I was going to enjoy this was that there's lots of brown sugar, honey, cinnamon, sangria, and I thought
favourite notes.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a sweet gourmand, and I thought I wouldn't like it. The first day we tried this on the first day of the holiday, and we were drinking Aperol Spritz.
Ah, yeah, good combo.
And this, like the orange, the bitter, fruity orange in the opening of this. It's just. Oh.
I love the delicacy of it as well. Actually,
it's so invigorating.
Yeah, but it's also invigorating. It's got a delicacy to it. It's so like this sugar water thing that you see people talking about in baking, or using rose water.
Yeah.
it's got a kind of a sort of transparency to it.
But it's got real bitter blood orange. And if you ever had an Aperol Spritz, I don't drink much Sangria, but Aperol Spritz I've drunk a bit more, and it really reminds me of that. That got really kind of dark, bitter, boozy orange. And then there are some florals. There's a hint of rose, which kind of rounds up the mid, and eventually it becomes really, really resinous and incredibly sexy. It becomes really tobacco-y. The benzoin, this creamy, luxurious, round, sticky, beautiful benzoin.
So you find that it develops quite a bit more.
This develops a lot. And then the other thing, which I really like, is just as all those resins become really sexy, it becomes a little bit dirty. There's a bit of civet in it, which gets that bit of filth. And I think he's kind of aiming it. If you watch the film climax, there's a fair amount of sex. It becomes quite filthy.
I need to watch it. I mean, what's the other film? Love? Is it 2015? By him?
Yes, yeah, and Irreversible, which is another amazing film.
Oh, with Monica Bellucci.
Yeah, it's backwards. Yeah. The film is backwards. Anyway,
like all good films.
Yeah, but
that is incredible.
I just thought what this took me on there, to go from this fresh blood orange at the beginning to a hint of kind of floral rose, and then this rich, beautiful resinous quality with a bit of filth at the end. There is some honey and some brown sugar, but it never becomes too sweet for me, and
it could be cloying in the wrong hands, but he's made a masterpiece there.
And what I've said, when we talk a lot, is I love it when I look at a fragrance and think, this isn't really for me. It's not my kind of notes list. Maybe I'll try that one last. And then you try it, and it just blows me away.
Another thing with this, I don't think it smells like a perfume. It's one of these things I can imagine a person smelling like.
Yeah.
That person always has that smell about them, but it's not. It's not an externally applied thing. Oh, that's really good.
But it's just if you start the night drinking sangria, maybe not LSD lanes, but if you start the night drinking sangria, then maybe you're sharing some cigars with friends, and it's sunny and it all ends up a bit sexy. That is what this smells like. And for me, that's my favourite.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. I think of all of them, that's got the biggest personality and the biggest. It's got the biggest sort of statement to make.
Yeah, it's interesting because
despite not being the biggest fragrance in terms of maybe.
Yeah, it is quite big, especially my wife has been wearing it quite a lot, and you really do notice it. There's quite a big scent trail.
But in terms of it's something that invites you in rather more than something that says wow.
Rather like SM Cafe, which is kind of leather and chocolate.
Absolutely.
What's your favourite out of these?
I think Aroon Sawat and then Scotch Pete in second place. But I have to say I really love them all, and I think they're all wonderful. They've all got huge personality.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick. It depends on the mood, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever you were feeling on whichever day.
But that's also why they're quite nice in that he's done 30ml bottles, which are only $70, or $70 US. So you can, it's not like spending $250 on a fragrance. You can buy a few of them, and
you've got 6 here. That's 180 pounds worth. No, it's not.
No.
That's it's 180 mils.
Yeah.
What 70 each?
Yeah.
So 280.
No. So that's 140. That's 280. So that's 320. I can't do the maths.
Something like
that.
It's
Sudicon.
But you could have your entire fragrance collection with just those.
Yeah.
For every mood, every weather, every. I mean, really beautiful.
Good stuff. We love him.
Pryn he's a similar taste to us.
Yeah. He is.
And unless he starts doing mass appealing designer drag, which I don't think he will, I think we'll always be fans.
But excitingly, we can't. I don't know how much we can say, but there is a bit on social media to say that he has done a fragrance for zoologists.
Yes.
I don't think we can say much more at this stage.
No. But it will be exciting.
We have smelt it, and it is extremely Pryn. Yeah. It's unlike anything else that I've smelt from zoologist. It smells like the animal, which it is.
Yes.
Which we're not going to say. But yeah.
That's a secret.
Everything you can hope for. But
masterpiece.
Till next time. Happy sniffing.